Welcome back to Coast Files, your podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Megan. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
How are we? What is the vibe for tonight? Feeling good?
Feeling good, apart from my microphone just deciding not to work today, but hopefully this
Yeah.
backup one works. If you
Honestly,
can't hear me,
it's not
sorry.
it's not so bad,
And-
and you guys will be able to fix this in post. Just fix it in
With the
post.
magic of editing, I'm sure, Lindsay, you and I can make it sound half decent. So I think we'll be okay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
it sounds even better. Who knows? We'll find out later.
And we're
I
all
somehow
having a
doubt
beverage,
that,
I
but-
think. Yes.
Yes, my first beverage in 30 days because last week I did lie. I was not drinking wine. I'm sure some sleuths figured that out anyways from me chugging down
Yeah, she's
wine
not
like it was
pregnant.
water.
She was just not
No.
drinking for a month.
Just not drinking for a month. Actually, I won't lie. I didn't drink and I didn't have any added sugar for a month. And like I was barely bloated this month at all. And TMI, my periods went back to regular. I'm like, I don't know.
I just feel like there's
What's
so little
happening?
joy in the world. But you know what? But if you're gonna reduce sugar, that's nothing but good.
No,
So
no.
I'm
I just
proud
want
of you.
I want moderation. That's all. Oh, and I lost 4 pounds. I do just want I do
Well,
just want
that's a lot.
moderation. But it's great to have this drink again. I
I was
won't
thinking
lie.
it's
I
good
miss
to get you
I
back
miss
to like a
this.
base, get you back to
Right.
a
I
miss
base
the
level.
Paloma.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe keeping up with the like limited sugar thing is good, but
Yeah,
That's
I
you
think
gotta
I'm
mood
treat
just
for
gonna
all
yourself
of
on a
try.
Friday.
I think I'm gonna try for February is just like, yeah, like weekend treats, like making sure I'm not doing too much throughout the week. Cause like, yeah, like sleep's been good and not being bloated is amazing. As much.
Yes,
It's like,
I hate that because then you just feel extra puffy and you're like, for why? I'm just,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, that's
Mhm.
good. So
Usually
you
in the
had some
morning I
positive
don't feel
effects.
bloated, but yeah, after like the first meal of the day, I'm like, oh, here it goes.
Yes, there's always natural bloating that happens. I just mean like like an uncomfortable amount like didn't happen at all
Where,
this
like,
month.
the
It was just
jeans
like your
hurt.
normal, like it's the end of the day, so of course you're bloated. Like, yeah,
Right.
nothing hurt to wear by the end of the day.
You need to let us know how you feel tomorrow after having your first
I
somewhat
know.
sugary drink.
And I might order I've been really wanting. So do you have La Dippery in
Sorry, I was like, where is this sentence going?
do you have La Dippery in the States?
Delivery?
La Dippery? No, La Dippery. It's a
Oh, I think it's a
ice
delivery.
cream
I'm
place.
like, yeah, I'm
No.
pretty sure we have delivery.
Just in general, do you have delivery in the States?
Have you heard of like
Have
Uber
you heard of
Eats?
delivery?
Yeah, we're
No,
lazy
so-
here. Of course we do.
No, so La Dippery is like this really nice. They do cheesecakes, they do cookies, they do ice cream things, and so I sometimes get this cookie ice cream sandwich that is then dipped in like chocolate, and then you get some Oreo crumbs on it. And I
Oh my
really,
God,
really want to
stop.
order that as
Oh.
like I don't know. That's gonna be a sugar overdose, but I really want that to be like my first sugary thing that
But like,
I
what a way to
have.
go.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, you deserve it.
Thank you.
And it's like,
And
it's
just-
the weekend. So
Just take a
Yeah.
photo of it. Can I live through you?
Oh my God. And they're
Yeah.
huge. Like they're like this. Like I normally can only eat about half of it, but
Otherwise
like
your teeth
they're
start to hurt?
huge. And like you get to choose the cookie, and then it has a
Mhm.
soft serve ice cream. And oh,
I'll be
it is-
honest, you
I'm,
sound
like,
a
drooling.
little like an addict right now, but I still want this for you.
all right. Well, next time I'm in Toronto, we have to
Wait,
get this.
Lindsay,
There's actually one really close to Megan's.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
one like on the other side
Well,
of the
yeah.
little
I mean,
lighthouse
I'm
down
gonna
here.
be
Yeah.
at both of your places, I assume. So whoever,
Yeah.
whatever it makes
There's
sense.
also
And
there's also one really
likely-
close to my place too. So we can
Oh, well, it's a
Perfect.
win-win. So we're gonna
Mhm.
get it twice, twice in one weekend. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'm glad we're having a good time because I'm gonna change
Mhm.
the vibe a little bit. However,
Woohoo.
this, while incredibly just batshit crazy and insane, there is a silver lining, and it's happier than most episodes.
Yay.
So you know,
'Cause we
that's
got
something.
brought down a little bit the less.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, few
yeah,
weeks.
and this
so.
one, really, the overall feeling is going to be positive. But I'll tell you right now, it's a survivor story.
Okay.
So we'll do cheers. Cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
Clink.
Thank
If you're having coffee or water or even a drink, whatever it is, cheers.
Also, is this a special day by or anything like that?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
mean, it's an everyday special.
I just didn't know if we had any special calendar events.
I think this comes out on the 19th. It's almost my boyfriend's birthday.
happy early
Happy
Happy
early
birthday.
birthday.
And we will
He
not
doesn't
sing.
listen, but
I
I
mean, he's
know.
listening right now, probably. So
Actually, no, he's
you.
not home yet, but
Okay.
he keeps meaning to. He feels really bad. He's like, "I really need to sit down," and he's
Then you
like, he
really
wants us
should
to
feel
sit down and,
bad.
like, watch it. I
Just
know,
sit
I
You
down
tell
and
him that
should.
listen
all the
to
time.
all
Yeah.
50-something episodes.
I
Like,
know.
does he
What's so
want to
hard
hear
about
your
that?
voice? Like, he could
And
listen to you while we're at work or
well,
something.
and I
And
would
how many
tell
times have I
him
brought up Russia? Like, he should wanna
a
listen
lot.
to that.
Yeah,
I would just say, listen, if you love me, then you will do this. I think it's like
That's fair.
emotional
Blackmail.
manipulation.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Let's get started. So you guys are all in for a ride. But like I said, it ends up being okay. So if you ever get too afraid, just keep in mind. After sleepily turning on the hot plates in the galley to start breakfast preparation, Harrison Okene shuffled off to the bathroom. He was the cook aboard a small tugboat and had just woken up at like 5 a.m. to start one of his very last few mornings of his early work. Only in his boxers, he sat on the toilet, as we do every morning.
Mhm. Mhm.
Likely a very normal start to a very normal day, but what he couldn't have known was that this was going to be what he could not have known is that he was about to endure one of the most life-altering disasters of his life. So
Okay.
photo 1 is the man in
Mhm.
question, Harrison.
Okay,
Take a
so if
gander.
he's the cook, why is he dressed up in all of this, like, I do other things than
He's
cook
a jack of
gear?
all trades.
Like,
Because it's a happy ending and this is a more current photo.
Okay.
oh, okay,
Okay.
okay. I'm like, that does not look like cook garb on a tugboat.
He cooks on the side of a skyscraper and he needs to be strapped in. No.
Yeah,
So
right?
the photo is more current, but it's just a nice, like, up-to-date photo of him,
Mhm.
like, doing well, thriving.
Okay. Love
So
it.
here's the story of Harrison, and, like, it is insane. I think I may have told this to you guys, maybe on the pod, maybe not. So it may sound familiar, but still, it's a story that just once you hear it, you're just gonna be shocked. Okay, so this was May 26th, 2013. Started out like any other day. 29-year-old Nigerian born and raised Harrison was 3 days out from ending his job contract on the Jascon 4, which was a tugboat assisting an oil tanker about 32 kilometers off the coast of Nigeria. So, since there had been some very strong winds, bad storms, this tugboat's job was to help stabilize the tanker while it was doing its job. Sometime after 5 a.m., while Harrison was literally sitting in the bathroom, like I said, a massive wave struck the tugboat, completely flipping it upside down.
Oh, wow.
Without a moment to get his bearings, the toilet, now on the ceiling, fell and hit him on the head.
Oh my god.
That sounds terrible.
I
Yeah.
mean, and
Like,
you are barely awake at this point, and it's like,
Right.
what the
This is a
fuck is
safe
happening?
space.
and now
You're taking your
suddenly
morning crap.
everything is upside down. The toilet is
Literally.
hitting you on the head.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I mean,
I hope he
obviously,
wasn't, like,
he
mid
lived.
anything, because like, there was probably some stuff coming out of that toilet.
Yeah,
You
Insult
know
to
what?
injury.
I'll get into
At
it,
that
and
point,
that
you're
was like
fine.
the least of his problems,
Yeah, I was
really.
gonna say, at that point, that's not what you're thinking about anyways.
So as this was happening, he had just enough time to notice the blood pouring out of his new wound, and then everything went dark.
Where was the wound?
On
On
his
his
head.
Yeah.
Okay, from getting hit, okay.
The lights now have completely gone out, and the bathroom is quickly filling with water. In under 2 minutes, Okene felt the tugboat touch the bottom of the ocean floor. He was about 30 meters or 100 feet below the surface.
Oh, wow.
Gosh.
Just like, you go from literally having your morning pee or whatever to being upside down. The toilet hits you in the head, and now your tugboat has sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
How many people are on this boat?
So it's hard to get exact numbers, but there was like a small crew. Obviously, a tugboat, it's not like
Okay.
a massive yacht or a massive oil
Mhm.
tanker. So I don't have exact numbers, but he had crewmates. He had people that worked on the boat with him. So I'll get into a little bit more detail, but I mean, that's something that I can try to find. It's hard to get exact. Like, there's not a lot of official stuff coming out of Nigeria about stuff
Got
like
you.
this.
Mhm.
Completely disoriented, Okene had this strange sense of calm, and that will come up a lot during his story. He is a religious man. He took a deep breath, prayed, and then he decided that he needed to make a move. He decided not to try the closest exit because 3 of his colleagues were there already trying to battle with the watertight hatch. And so he's thinking, there's 3 men on that. I'm going to try to go somewhere else.
Mhm.
So he swam further inside the boat, trying to find another way out. And this decision may be the one that is the reason why he survived. As he swam away from that first exit, The force of the water kind of pushed him and carried him into another bathroom. He just like can't get away
Yeah.
from bathrooms.
Someone was like, I
It
know you need to finish what you were in the middle of.
it's not completely submerged yet, right? It's like there's still air pockets, I
So
assume?
yeah, so I will mention the
Okay.
air pockets, but it's completely
Mhm.
submerged. It's on the bottom of the
Yes, okay,
ocean.
but, like, the
Jesus.
inside is not completely
There's
filled.
air.
Okay.
Like
Mhm.
so part of the good thing about his decision not to go where everyone else was is that as he moved, it created a little wave, like I said, that kind of like pushed him into the second bathroom. And as it pushed him through, the pressure of the water shut the door, creating a quite comfortable air pocket, all things considered. So
Okay.
that would come to essentially save his life, is that one little thing kept air in
Oh,
this one
wow.
space. It was common practice to keep all doors shut and locked as often as possible in case of pirates. So there were actually a lot of air pockets on the boat, like
Wow.
Lindsay was alluding to. Also, we should cover pirates.
We
Yeah,
have
that's
it on
on
the
our
list.
list.
We
Yeah.
have,
So
we have modern pirates and old
like
pirates.
the ones like Captain Jack Sparrow
Yeah, like
type pirates.
Blackbeard and stuff. I think I was
The
gonna do that already,
R, you know?
but I think it could be something we could do together, so
Yeah, because there's
Mm.
more than enough content.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
what's that movie with Tom Hanks?
Oh,
It's
Did
actually
Captain
really
know?
good. Have you guys ever seen that?
I
The
don't know what
look
you're
at me,
talking
look at
about,
me.
so probably
Look
not.
at
Captain.
me.
Yeah,
Look
is
at
it?
me.
Yeah, like the
The
meme.
captain know.
It's a group of
I
like I
haven't
think
watched it either.
Somali pirates take over
Yeah.
this like Norwegian boat. He's an American
It's not like
captain.
Castaway, is it? From when he
No,
gets
No.
okay.
oh no, I'm
Captain
not
Phillips.
confused.
Captain
Captain
I
Phillips.
okay.
It's
That
good and
sounds
it's
familiar, but I've
scary.
not seen it, so I'll have to watch it.
You
Add
would
that to the
definitely
list.
know the meme, that's for sure. It came out in 2013.
Well, that's
And it has a
ironic.
7.8 on IMDb.
Add that to the
That's
list.
good.
I'm burping. Sorry,
That's okay. I had a big one earlier. I just keep muting myself. You're welcome.
that's classic you. Okay, so Joaquin again in the bathroom kept his head near the ceiling, which was actually the floor, and he just waited a moment. Again, like don't forget, you're upside down now. That
Mhm.
would be so disorienting. In the total darkness, he could still hear his coworkers yelling, shouting, and crying.
Well,
Because like I would be freaking terrified. It actually reminded me,
Mhm.
Chantel, of your story, the pipeline disaster.
Ugh. I
Which-
can't even.
I thought
Yeah.
of that too when I just saw the first picture, just with
Yeah.
the gear.
I
and-
know. That's
Very
what I was
similar.
thinking too. I was like, oh my God, what happened?
Well, and again, I wish I had more info, but I mean, like, you know, he is the
Sole
person that
survivor.
lived,
Yeah.
but I just wish I had more info and more names. So after taking some time to compose himself, because holy crap, he decided that the exit hatch at this point was probably, though, the best way out after all that. There was one problem. In his effort to leave that bathroom that he got swept into, he had actually broken the handle, locking himself inside.
Oh no.
So using what he would call a state of hyper composure, he like I would just simply die. Like I don't know what I would do. He
I
looks
think
around.
you.
I
I
think
think you would.
yeah.
You'd pick it. The sense of
The
like
adrenaline
survival
does
does
kick in, so I think you have
You're
a
giving me
I
so
mean,
much
you never
credit.
know how you're gonna react, but you
No.
might be surprised. It's like with the stories where like a mom like lifted a car off her child in a state of like
Yeah, that's true.
complete
Yeah.
panic and like urgency and
Also, I think
Listen,
that
there's
sometimes it is
also
just situation. Like he had the chance to be calm because he had air to
Yes.
breathe, and it wasn't
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like you have 30
so there's
seconds.
and
It's-
and there's degrees of it, right? There's fight, flight, or freeze, and sometimes too you can freeze in the moment, but if there's nowhere else for you to go, eventually your fight will kick in, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not just going to freeze there the entire time. Eventually you're going to be like, okay, I'm composed, I'm taking into where I am, and I got to figure this out. So yes, I think you do need to give yourself more credit. It's something that I guess in my profession you definitely like pick up in the
yeah,
you in the action kind of end of it, but I mean afterwards you need a minute.
yeah. After it's all said and
Yes.
done.
First of all, you need to pee, possibly poop, because the adrenaline just like when it comes down, your body just like, and just like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
anyways.
like your body
And,
goes
like,
into
cry
like
in a
hyper
corner.
hyper survival mode where everything is suspended until you are out of danger, and then
you
it's
can
like
practice being in those
evacuate.
situations. Like
Yeah.
my first job was a lifeguard, and being in one of those panic situations was way
Mhm.
different than any of the training that I could have had. It's just something
Yeah,
Mhm.
you can never
you can
train for
prepare,
everything.
but
Yeah.
you will surprise yourself when you are in that
Mhm.
situation sometimes. You, like, just come on and you get it
So
done.
let's listen to his story and let's all think
Yes.
that, he was able to find this like center to focus. And let's think
Which
that
is
maybe when
amazing.
it all came down to it, hopefully we would all have that same kind of mindset because again, no one is choosing for this to happen. So if you're forced
You can't
upon it,
control which one comes
yeah.
out.
But
You
like
just
Right.
let's
can't.
hope maybe if something ever were to happen where you're in a situation where you have to act fast but you're afraid, something
Mhm.
from the story will stick with you and you're like, okay, it's fine. Just deep breath and
Exactly. I'm already kind of
fingers
envisioning,
first.
like, the scene from Titanic when they're stuck underneath and you're like they're trying to find a way up and
Yes, but and
Yeah.
also I
one
know that
exit's
that's
blocked.
obviously a movie, but,
It
like,
is, but it happened
oh, it did,
in
but
real
in that
life.
scene,
Yeah.
there's lights, right?
Right,
There's
the lights
no
are still
Mhm.
lights
so
in
then
his
they'll
scene,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
and
oh
he's
my god,
upside
it'd be
down, so it's pitch
pitch
black. So similar, but, like, this is insane.
yeah.
Okay, let's keep
Okay.
going.
I can't wait to
Oh
hear
my
what
god,
how
it's
this all
just
happened. Okay.
oh, I know.
Mhm.
Really part of it is just not even luck, it's just, like, he's in the right place at the right place at the right time, all things considered. Like, he is upside down at the bottom of the ocean, but where he ended up finding himself ended up working out to his benefit. Um, okay, so at this point, like I mentioned, he kind of got laser focused in. He was looking around his small bathroom he was stuck in. He found a vent, and using that vent and parts of the metal, he was able to kind of take it apart and pry open the door. So he was able to get out, which is
In
just
the
like MacGyver
darkness.
in the
Wow.
dark. Like, I there's some photos. I don't know if he had a flashlight. Again, doesn't go into detail, but for all I know, he was just remembering what was there, feeling around, and he
Mhm.
freaking got out. Um, but at this point, while he was working, he was hearing the voices of his colleagues one by one going silent. He
Oh.
assumed they were escaping,
Oh,
and
okay.
sadly, that is not what
Not the
happened.
case.
Wishful thinking.
Well, I think at that point, yeah, you have to say, yeah, everyone's fine. So I'm just next. I'm going
Mhm.
to work hard and I'll be next.
Yeah.
Okene would leave the safety of his air pocket to try his luck at that watertight door. And at one point, he got so disoriented in the pitch black, upside down boat. Totally get it. He almost missed the room with the air. So, I know, again, we don't have like schematics of this tugboat, but it was described as having multiple rooms. And this was in a 2013 UK Guardian article. So he said, if you got stuck in any room, you were lost. It was totally dark. I was confused. If you don't act fast, you could lose your life in there. And later,
Wow.
Okene would learn that one of his colleagues had entered the mess room, got disoriented, and he did drown.
Oh,
So, like, literally one wrong move, wrong room,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you
Right.
run out of air.
But it's not a big boat either at the same time, so, like, if you I assume there's not that many bathrooms, for example, so he might have a sense where he is being in the
I, I,
bathroom.
I would hope so. So he does figure out a way to make sure he doesn't lose where he
Track of what
is.
room. Okay.
But yeah, but if you went into the wrong room, all it takes is a few seconds for you to realize you're not in the right one. There's no air. Maybe you don't have time to get back. So, um, during this situation and this ordeal, he was able to stay on task and then he started looking for food and drink because he had no idea how long he was going to be down here for. While searching through bags and cabinets, he found a tin of sardines and a can of cola. And that is it.
That's
Honestly,
it.
my dad would eat that though.
I like sardines.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
survival mode, I like
Yeah,
sardines too.
I'll eat anything, but just like
It's like,
I mean,
life, yeah, okay, I'll eat sardines,
Oh, yeah,
fine.
yeah, that's fair, that's
I guess
fair.
it depends on the sardine flavor. If it was
I
plain, I
actually
don't know.
I've had sardines before. I wouldn't seek them out, but I would eat if
Oh
I
my
had
god.
to.
You go to
Well,
Portugal, there are so many sardines. There's, like, just literally, like, there's you
it's
go to
just
this little
different cultures, right? Who like really
yeah,
It's
just
just
the
weird
they
to
food.
just
eat, like,
love
a
their
whole
canned
little
fish.
fish. I'm like,
Oh,
you
but it's
know,
so good. It's
shrimp,
so
it's just
tasty.
like, you see it though. It's like, this is a fish,
Mm.
and so it's kinda weird to eat.
Lizzie, wasn't it your case where they're eating leather?
That was the
Yeah, they
leather
the leather
I
boots
boots.
think I'd
from the
rather eat
Franklin
sardines over
expedition.
a boot.
Which is why
I would
Lindsay
rather eat
said she would
sardines
eat
too.
them if
Yeah.
I would
in survival mode.
yeah, boot or sardines, definitely picking the sardines, like, that's
Like there is a hierarchy of like
I
how
couldn't
desperate
even
are you?
like yeah, I don't know. I
Long pig
couldn't
or sardines? We're going with long
Well,
pig.
it depends on who it is.
yeah. I'm
This
sure there's a
is
lot of
this
people
is
out there that hate seafood enough that they would go with the leather boot, but
Yeah,
or
that's fair.
their friend, like whatever
Yeah, or the
happens.
long pig, yeah.
Did you guys watch the show Hannibal that was on? It was so
Yes,
beautifully done. I know that
yes,
I
I love it.
only like a first little bit. I
Lindsay.
know.
It's so artistically beautiful.
Yes,
Oh,
it makes you feel smarter having watched it. Does
Okay,
that make
I
sense?
mhm.
will add it to
Yeah,
I have a
Yeah.
list.
No,
I
I
rarely
have a
get
list
to
too.
oh my god, we
these.
all have a
So
list.
aside from being based on like one of the most influential authors ever, like up to Stephen King even, it's such a great story.
Mhm.
The visual of the murder, sorry to say it like that,
Yeah,
but like the visual is so oh god, beautiful. I'm sorry, no one cancel me. Like if you watch it, you get
I
it.
no, I think about the antler one all the time.
Oh,
All the time.
maybe I should rewatch it. But what I was
You
getting
should.
at is that the food, like I feel like every episode is, you know what? It reminds me of the
Oh,
movie The Menu.
you know what? I haven't seen this one at
Mm.
all. I'll have to definitely watch it.
It's so amazing, but the food looks fantastic, and it's also very
I wanna see The
dark.
Menu too. I haven't seen that
God,
either.
We watched that recently, actually,
Ah,
really
so I
good.
watched it, I forget when, and then I watched it recently again because
okay.
I keep thinking about it all the time, and it's so funny and so twisted and so good.
I love Nicholas Hoult, and I hated seeing him as that guy. I
Okay,
hated
don't
seeing
ruin
him
it.
as that guy.
Don't ruin
No,
it.
no, I won't. Just because he was so pretentious.
But I
That's
mean,
why.
in the
But
end,
like,
like you
no, it
know,
doesn't. Don't talk about the end. I'm just talking about how pretentious he was. I really, really hated seeing him as that because I love him. I have watched him since Skins. Like, I love him so much, and so just to see him like that, I was like, no,
Yeah.
Nicholas.
why
And
are
he's
you
gonna
like
be in
this?
the new Superman movie, and he was in Nosferatu.
He was
So
also
he
in
he
Nosferatu was so good. He
Hold
was
on.
also in X-Men. He played
yeah,
uh, the Beast.
Beast, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, you might hear my like clicking. Okay,
that's
so
okay. Speeching is gets rid of it.
Nicholas Holt is the British
Mhm.
version. Oh my God, he has almost the same birthday as me, but he's younger. Anyway, that's fine. He reminds me of the American actor who played like New Jim in season 9 of The Office.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, yes, yeah.
So
A
I
little
always get
bit.
the two confused.
Okay.
And
Mm.
for the longest time, I didn't realize that this guy was the guy from The Menu. But yes, it is.
Yeah,
Long
it is.
story short, watch The
Okay.
Menu and watch
And
Cannibal.
Hannibal.
Yeah,
Okay,
got
back
it.
to this.
Okay.
So he found his sardines, his can of cola. I don't know if it was Coke, so I wasn't gonna assume.
Mhm.
You
And then
wanna
he
add
also
brand? Unless Coca-Cola wants to sponsor this episode.
can you imagine? Hi, I see that you have like no followers. I'd love to sponsor your podcast.
Maybe
Hey,
they
we
just
have, like,
really like us,
a
okay? Maybe they
few we
listen
have
and they're
some. We have, like,
just
200.
yeah.
That's worth
I feel
I don't
like
know.
we're not even close to being on there.
Guys,
Right
tell
We
your
have
friends about us,
quality
please. Even though we
listeners,
have gone on such a
quality.
tangent, do you even know what we're talking about anymore?
I hardly do, but let's manifest Coca-Cola sponsoring
That
this
is
I love it.
podcast.
honestly, like, not trying to suck up to Coca-Cola, but if I don't drink pop, but if I do, it's
I
always
will.
Coca-Cola because that's my favorite pop. So
Ooh,
if I'm going to
mine's
drink
root
pop
beer.
This is great marketing, Coca-Cola.
yeah,
Get at us.
I know.
I don't always
Chantal,
drink
let's
soda, but
pretend
when I
what
do,
wait, is Mug part of Coca-Cola? You could say Mug root beer if
I
you
think
want.
oh, I do
Barks.
love Mug.
Barks?
I think Barks
No,
is
Barks is
Coke. No,
Pepsi,
Barks is
isn't it?
Pepsi. So it must be Mug. Okay,
Unless
I would
Mug
choose Mug.
is Mug doing
A&W
its
is my
own thing?
go-to, but Mug is my
Oh.
second favorite.
Okay, we're so off
Oh,
topic, but
no,
how
so
good is
acquired
A&W
by
burgers?
Pepsi. Mug
Sorry.
is acquired by Pepsi.
And
Okay.
who's left?
So
Barks
who
root
has
beer.
Coca-Cola?
It's Barks. You're right. Barks is
Oh,
Coca-Cola, so you can drink
sorry.
Barks. Unless Pepsi wants to sponsor us, we're not committed yet. Coca-Cola has not signed anything.
You know what? They can have a bidding war. Let's go.
You know what? If
I do love
okay,
Coca-Cola, so
I
if
wasn't gonna say this on the
okay,
podcast, but I mean, like I told you guys earlier, I did find Harrison Okene on Instagram and follow him, and he followed us back. If he listens to this, he's going to be so pissed.
okay, maybe we
I'll
can
make
cut out
really
the
good reels.
Coca-Cola
I'll make
part.
I'll make really good reels for
no
us.
no disrespect. This is a very chatty
Listen to some of
podcast.
our other episodes. You'll understand.
Oh my God. And also it's all good things on our side,
Yeah,
Harrison.
we can
Like
add
this
them
is
to
incredible.
reels. I
we
could
we
cut
are
some of it
rooting
from the
for
audio.
you. We are rooting for you, man.
And if
Um,
Pepsi or Coke does sponsor us, like Harrison, we will give you a cut because this is
Yeah.
your episode, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's
wait. What kind of cut are we talking?
We'll work out
we're
the
gonna
details
discuss
later.
We'll work out a
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
He's
And
gonna
back
get
to
a
this,
flat,
sardines and Coca-Cola. Let's
I think
go.
that-
Okay.
and a pair of loose coveralls.
Yes.
Oh.
So he
Okay,
finds a pair of loose coveralls.
Mm.
He somehow, with his bare hands, tears it into strips. Perhaps he had a knife, but he sounds like, I don't know, he's ripping
Wow.
clothes apart. So I don't know. He's highly
Who is
motivated.
this man?
So he rips this thing apart and he actually ties them together to create a rope, almost like a guide out of the room, out into the hallway, so that worst comes to worst, he can feel for this rope on he knows.
That's so
Follow the
That's
rope,
so
smart.
smart.
right?
I'm
Especially-
like blown away that he's able to do this with like no light or like, is this during the daytime? Like would there potentially be
mean,
like
doesn't matter, they're
tiniest
under-
bit?
Well, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I believe, yes, it was during the day. Remember,
Yeah.
because it was 5 a.m. is when it all happened. But if it's storming, how much natural light are you getting?
No,
So
I mean,
either way, it's
today
pitch
was
black.
You're
stormy.
100 feet underwater.
Yeah, it's dark, man. Like
My
it's-
apartment was so dark today because it was rainy out.
So imagine being
Yeah.
underwater,
And how
Right.
far underwater did you say it?
100 feet.
Oh, yeah, that's really far.
So
It's still light at that point, but it's far.
well, and
Yeah.
like and dark enough that he's inside. He's not seeing. Like
Yeah,
it's
if he
pitch
had
black.
any sort of light, it wouldn't probably benefit him too much.
No.
Light does come into it, and we will get
Okay.
there. So even though he was alive, which is again is a miracle, at this point he is exhausted, and he knew that getting that watertight door open was nearly impossible. So to preserve his energy, he decided, I'm going to stay put and wait. He was somewhere safe. Obviously, people saw this happen, so he knew he wasn't, in the middle of the ocean alone. His boat was literally with an oil tanker assisting. So
Oh, okay.
like, remember, his boat was keeping that oil tanker stable. When the tugboat
Yes.
flips, there's people all around. So people are going to notice this. So at this point, he's like,
okay.
I can't do it myself. I have safety, quote unquote safety here. So he's just going to hang tight, which must have been scary. While he half floated on a makeshift raft of wood scraps that he made, he had to occupy his mind, but naturally it drifted to thoughts of his wife. How is she? Will she be okay without me? Which is just so freaking sad.
Yeah.
He says that his life and his memories played throughout his mind, only interrupted by the throbbing pain of his throat due to all the salt water he had taken in and the constant bites of tiny crayfish all over. Because there's little
little
my
things on the
gosh.
ground.
So just he's not able to rest, and he's, in a bathroom with an air pocket. This man's
So-
incredible.
Is the boat actually like on the sea floor?
It flipped
So it's
completely.
like
so it's-
no, I just wasn't sure if like it's like kind of buoyant in the middle or it was like sea floor.
He felt the boat hit
So,
the
hit the floor.
sea
Okay,
floor.
and obviously there's crayfish. They're getting in there, so they're
'Cause
they're
it's deep, but
land
it's not
dwellers.
like that's
Not land
kind of where they
dwellers.
hang out.
Bottom
So
dwellers.
Okene tried to distract himself by praying and even singing church songs as the water slowly continued to rise and rise, which again is giving Titanic. Like
Mhm.
just anyway.
Right. He's probably thinking, he has to be thinking, what if this is the end?
And how helpless
Mhm.
do you feel? Oh my God. So Okene remained calm despite a situation. I don't know how he did that. He was quoted as saying, I tried to kill the fear in front of me because one thing that can kill you fast is fear. And he's so right. That panic comes at you and it kills you before the real death comes, because the moment you start panicking, you use too much oxygen.
Mhm.
How was he able to have this clear thought in his situation? Like, he's an incredible person.
Honestly, I think a point that must be saving him is the fact that he knows other people are around. He knows people will realize pretty quickly that
Or at least you have to tell yourself, if I just hang out.
yes, exactly. You can tell yourself that to kind of like calm yourself down. People know we're flipped over. Someone will come.
And
Someone will come.
I'm not religious, but I think that in some ways all of us would be just, speaking to the universe, like
Mhm.
just something to keep your mind occupied and just say
Put it out there, like, that
Yeah.
you want to survive. Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Then, seemingly out of nowhere, a sound rang out of the eerie silence. The banging would turn out to be a diver who was attaching a marker buoy to the wreck to mark it on the ocean surface to warn other vessels of its location.
Okay.
He tried hammering on the wall, hoping the diver would hear him, and nothing.
Oh no.
There was no kind of tapping back. Again, it's giving major flashbacks to your story, Chantel.
Yeah.
So at this
Well, at least
point,
my
he's,
guys could hear each other, but
I don't know if it's scarier to be with people and have that fear go back and forth or to be alone.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So he's banging on the wall. He gets no response. And he's not sure how much time had passed. It could have been hours, days. He has no idea. But suddenly, in this pitch black, he sees a little tiny bit of light, a little glint. He described it as seeing almost like a bubble, like a little bubble of light.
Okay.
Okay.
So if it's pitch black, you're going to notice that one little glint. So he left his raft, that he calls a raft, and he went out and he searched for the source of light. He couldn't see anything. He went back to the air bubble and he thought, okay, I know I saw something. But again, you're by yourself in the pitch black. Could be anything. But he took one more deep breath and he knew he had to try again. So at this point, he was swimming out of his safety and he saw a diver connected to a long air hose. He reached his hand out towards the diver. I'm getting chills telling this. And the diver, he can be heard saying on his recording device, I found another corpse. And then the hand grabs his hand and he goes, oh my God, oh my God. I know. I'm getting chills.
What?
So that is picture 2. Is his hand reaching out. That's from the
That is
diver's
so
video.
eerie. Wow.
Could you imagine thinking it was a corpse and then it touches you?
So if you want to watch the video I have in the folder, it's 1 minute and 40 seconds. What we'll do is that for the visual component of this podcast, if
I
you
can
want to
pop
follow
it
us on
in.
YouTube, we'll have the video. And if you were just listening, we will have this video linked. I highly suggest you watch it, even for the first 20 seconds, because the fact that they assumed everyone was dead and they were almost right that Harrison was alive. So
Wow.
watch that now, please.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
On the ceiling, yeah? Okay. What's that? Okay. That's horrible. All right, you found one, yeah? He's alive. He's alive. Okay, keep him there. Keep him there. All right. Just. All right. All right. Just hold him there, okay? Just keep him there.
Oh my God. Crazy.
All right. Just keep him there and keep him calm, okay? All right. Just reassure him. Pat him on the shoulder.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh, that must have been blinding his eyes.
All right.
Yeah, I've not seen light.
Right, let's get that hat on his head so we can reduce the CO2, please. Just want you to keep calm, okay? Are you feeling okay? Are you sore? Have you got any injuries? Okay. What's your name? Harrison. Okay, Harrison. My name is Colby. Okay, and I'm going to bring you home, okay? And the diver that helped you now, his name is Nico. Okay, that's Nico, okay? You mustn't take your hat off, okay? You must just breathe nicely, yeah? Okay. All right, let's go. You hold your umbilical and you listen to me, okay? All right, we're going now. Put your head underwater and breathe comfortably, okay?
Isn't that insane?
That would be terrifying.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
The amount of trust to just be like, all right, you put this thing on my head and now I'm going to follow you and we're going to go
Yeah,
under.
I can't even imagine
We had
what he
also
would be
talked about
thinking, but
in past episodes about how that air pocket now is not pure oxygen at this point because he's breathing out, right? So there's CO2.
Mhm.
It's
right.
So I'm sure that felt like the first deep breath he had.
Yeah.
He had spent over 3 days in
Oh
this
my
upside
God.
down tugboat
Oh
at the
my
bottom of the sea.
That's
How
crazy.
did he have any
How did
oxygen
it like
left
take
in
3
there?
days for them to go like? Wouldn't they have tried to find
Because
survivors
frankly,
earlier?
they
Like,
figured everyone was probably
Everyone's
dead. And when it all went down,
yeah,
that first day, that could have been storming all day, and you're not going to
Mhm.
put more
right.
lives at
Just
risk. So you assume this is a horrible tragedy. Everyone is dead. When the storm passed, they probably went down, put the marker. Because, I mean, he said he's not sure when he first saw that diver or heard the diver outside, it could have been another full day before anyone actually came in.
Yeah.
oh my god.
So picture 3 and picture 4 is when they first kind of
Yeah,
find
so
him.
they definitely
my
weren't expecting to
God.
find anyone at that point.
He
No.
looks so confused too. Oh, picture
Oh my God.
4.
Picture 4 is those are the divers, the dive team.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Incredible. So
Oh my gosh.
it's all mostly uphill. Obviously, progress is not linear, so there's some little dips,
Mhm.
but in general, it's good.
Yeah. And just, I know you spoke with him, right? So did he
I
share
mean, like,
anything?
not really, no.
Okay.
So I messaged him and he was just like, but I didn't have an interview with you. So how are you going to do an episode on me? I'm like, oh, because there's lots of articles about your
Yeah.
story. So
Well,
he didn't.
maybe in the future we could do a little like even like a
If
follow-up
he was
later.
ever interested, well, I told him that this episode will come out in March, so I'll probably send it. But he's
February.
following us and he has communicated, so we'll see if he's
Well,
interested
thank
in
you,
talking
Harrison,
with
for
us.
just sharing this story
Yeah, so thank you
in general.
to him sharing this at least once
Mhm.
officially, because this is from a UK article that came out, God,
Yeah.
almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so because of that, we have a few more details.
Yeah, maybe we can do a follow-up later and get like
I
a
think it
little
would be
interview
very,
in.
very cool of him if he wanted
Mhm.
to, but he does not have to. But if Pepsi or Coke does come to us, he will get some swag or whatever we can
Here we go.
figure out. So after this miraculous rescue, because that is exactly what it is, Okene was taken to the diver's bell and then to a recompression chamber for a further
Mhm.
3 days. When when he had his complete health assessment, his vital signs were measured and they were completely normal,
Wow.
including his
Okay.
temperature and blood pressure. And even
Wow.
Okene remarked, "That's not normal."
Oh.
He was surprised that he was effectively fine.
He was like, "Oh, it
Wow.
fixed my blood pressure problem that I had."
I mean, he has incredible endurance just to like
Big
even
Yeah.
time.
mentally.
I
uh,
think that that is probably what saved him. His
Right.
mental state. I mean, he does go through some issues I'll talk about, but it has a very strong like sense of self, a very like
Mhm.
strong center because I don't think anyone could survive this. And the fact that he did without
No.
really too much impacting his life just says a lot
Yeah.
about the kind of person he is.
I mean, even the fact that, like, obviously he had a wound that was bleeding and, like, the amount of things that could even just go wrong there, like
Big time.
infection, if you have, a concussion and, like, you're allowed to sleep on a concussion now, by the way.
I
But,
read
like,
that.
just
It seems
just,
so
like
against
I
like all
thought you were
things I've
supposed
ever
to, yeah,
heard.
last time I heard it's like you had to wait at
no.
least a certain amount of time. So
No, no,
that's not
no.
true.
The major thing that you're looking for is vomiting after a concussion. If there's
Mm.
vomiting, like, you
Okay.
probably have a bleed, get to the hospital.
Okay.
But it's just amazing that, yeah, he survived that without a major issue with that wound or with the
Mhm.
Now
concussion
that being said, he
itself.
did absolutely refuse to go to the hospital, but, like, everything's fine. He was like, "I am so done, like, I just wanna go home."
That's fair. He's
I
like, "I
get
just wanna see
that.
my wife."
Yeah.
Like
Also, like, I don't, I'm not sure how it works with healthcare
I'm
over
sure it's a
there, but
little bit different in terms of things you have to get done, but he was checked out, like, when he's going through all these
yeah.
different phases, so I'm sure a doctor or healthcare physician looked at him and was like, "You should go to the hospital still." He was like, "No, I'm good."
I mean, at that point, I'd be like, "Can you just come to my house? Like, I just
Yeah.
wanna be home. I wanna be on my couch. I wanna I wanna watch my favorite shows
I
and
wanna eat
sit
some
with my
food
wife."
that's not
Like,
sardines.
sardines or Coca-Cola. Like
So like I said, seemingly in great health. He did have some challenges. This
Mhm.
is very just sad. He was plagued by nightmares, which I think is
Oh,
completely
that's fair,
understandable
yeah.
after all that he went
Yeah.
through. During one particular nightmare, he remembers feeling his bed sinking, and in his half asleep state, he actually picked up his wife and carried her to the front door and was trying to get out. And it
Oh
wasn't
my
until he
god.
was struggling with the door he kind of came to and realized, like, holy shit.
Yeah. Those are the type of things like I sometimes have with my
I
sleepwalking.
was just thinking of you. I'm like, that's a
Classic
Lindsay
Lindsay.
thing to do. Picking up
Right.
Eric and bringing him to the front door.
Yeah. It's obviously, you know, he's experienced much more trauma. I have no
Yeah,
excuse.
yeah,
But
yeah.
You
yeah,
didn't choose to have the craziest sleepwalking escapades. That's just how you
it
are.
rarely happens. It's really only when I sleep sometimes somewhere new and I wake up and I'm disoriented. I think that's
Mhm.
usually when it happens.
Just I
So
remember waking up at my parents' place and you telling me like, by the way, I escaped. So I'm like,
I know,
I
I was, like,
didn't
in
even know
their
you
driveway,
left.
and I was like, "Where?" Well, I was first of all, I think the big problem was that night is that we had been obviously in, like, the living room, and
Mhm.
then I ended up crashing in Callum's room,
Yeah, and for
right?
the first
And I
time, like
never
you
even been
saw
in Callum's
yeah,
room, I never even
exactly.
saw it during the daylight, so I fell asleep in a bed, like, I literally walked in the room, it was, like, dark, fell asleep, and because your family was out of town, and then I
Yeah.
just woke up being like, "Where
Gotta get out.
Like my brain's like
I
not.
broke into a house.
That's literally what my dream was, that I got into the wrong house and someone was gonna like catch me and be like freak out at me and like who
You
do I don't know
Goldilocks it.
what to me.
You
Like
know what?
I was
Something else too. So that is when beautiful Black Lab Clark was still guarding the house, and he just like let you leave.
Yeah,
He
that's
yeah.
weird. That's
he
not a
didn't
Clark
bark
thing
at
to
you. He
do.
probably like looked up, was like, I think she's good, and just went
Yeah.
back to bed. Lindsay's
I
like
don't
heading
remember
outside.
if I had encountered him, I probably would have been scared too because I'm like, no, they have a guard dog and I'm so much trouble.
Oh,
Um,
So
I mean, it's funny now. It was really unnerving at the time to be
mhm.
to
my God,
hear
I
you
was
say
so
like, yeah, I woke
scared.
up outside. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I realized where I was after being in their driveway, and I was like, right, I'm at Megan's
Oh my
parents'
God, that
house.
is so scary.
Thank God the door didn't like automatically lock behind you or something.
But
Oh my
apart from that, the only time it's happened since is again at your place, Megan. It's just
Mhm.
it's just
Where
something
I
special
caught
I
her.
have
I'm
with
like,
you.
Lindsay, just come back to bed.
Like,
I know.
is it me? Am
Did I
I
say who I
doing
was
something
looking
wrong?
for, Chantel? I forget.
I I think you thought you were looking for Eric or something like that. You tried to get up. You were
Okay.
like,
And you're like,
"Oh,
baby, he's not
okay."
here
I
at
Yeah.
mean,
all.
sometimes it has happened here where like I haven't gotten out of bed over it, but I'll wake up and I'll be like, wait, where's my mom? She was supposed to be here. So I have had it since, but actually I
But at
have gone
least
out
it
of bed a couple times just going to the living room and then Eric's been like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm looking for my mother.
You
I'm
need like
fine."
a cat cam collar or a bell
I
on
know.
you.
like Spooky Boo. We need like a
We need to
Spooky Boo
have
thing for
something on the
her.
door in case
Hell
I ever
yeah.
open it, but
A bell.
There's a Canadian YouTuber
Oh,
and
Selena.
she
Everyone.
sleeps. Yeah,
Everyone
she
loves her.
sleepwalks and so
okay.
they have a camera in their house at all times. Well, plus her house is like major haunted. But
Well,
like she sleepwalks all the time, so she has cameras on and like it's hilarious what
Okay, but
happens.
now we have never seen you, Lindsay, but I
Yeah.
can't imagine you being as intense as this is. But Selena will
No,
like
it's
have conversations and funny hand motions, and like you've had
mhm.
dreams, and you're like, I could totally see myself in my dream doing things that make no sense, but in the context of the dream, it makes total sense.
yeah, I have never done anything where I'm like I'm doing something dangerous. Like I feel like I'm in dream state, but I'm also aware enough to not be like doing anything dangerous. You know what I mean? Like I've
Oh, thank
never
God. That's
um
why I always lock my balcony door. I'm like, in case of
yeah.
Spider-Man, and then Lindsay can't get out
Mhm.
because I'll hear her like,
Fair.
Keep me safe.
please.
Yeah, I've never
I
done anything like dangerous. There's one story I it was like this person who kept gaining weight and didn't know why. And apparently what was happening was they were waking up in the middle of the night and eating all the stuff in
Oh
their
my
fridge
That's
and
so
God.
going back
scary
to
because
bed.
they could choke on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they're like, I don't know why I'm gaining weight. Like I'm so good. Like I exercise. Like I keep my calories under. Dream them was screwing them over
Wow.
and like
Talk
eating
about
all
Dream
the
Them is an
food.
self-sabotage.
asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And of course, it's
yeah,
never like, oh, a fruit salad or a celery. It's always like the good stuff that you eat when
Mhm.
you're asleep.
exactly.
Okay, let's get
Well,
back
We
I
should
mean, at least
thank
we didn't
Harrison
have very
again for
dealing with us.
sharing the story, and hopefully maybe we can interview you further one day.
Mhm.
Yeah, and hopefully before he hears this, we'll see if
Yeah.
we can get him to talk to us.
We got a little while.
Okay,
So
so
strong PTSD, grabbing his wife, going towards the
well,
door. Got you.
so yes and no. He definitely struggled at first, and he even describes meeting with a psychologist, but he just wasn't connecting with her. And I guess
Mm.
he didn't have an experience where he actually felt like he was being heard, and it just wasn't
Okay.
working for him.
Oh, I can't even
Um,
imagine what it would be like to be a psychologist and try and work with that. Being like, they didn't teach us this one in
I
school.
know.
Like,
Right. I
And also,
cannot relate.
well, and some
yeah.
people, I mean, just like dating, you have to, try a couple psychologists and therapists to
Mhm.
feel who
Yeah.
fits.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
know what the culture is like over there about mental health, but he may have done that once and thought like it's not
I'm
working for
good.
me and kind of just
Yeah.
gave up. I don't know, but it all gets better. What he did do is he took a quick vacation to Gambia to help clear his mind, and he spent most of the time relaxing by the beach with his wife. He swam in the pools, swam in the ocean, and he felt like that kind of helped get him back to a more regulated state.
And it's
So
like
he's not
Sometimes
scared of
confronting your
water.
maybe new fear
it's funny,
almost.
Mhm.
he never really felt afraid of the water ever. Like that
Yeah.
never changed. It was just more just the event itself was scary, but
Mhm.
not
He
so
has more
much
like
the
even claustrophobia or something of being trapped.
which, I mean, like, I think we could
Yeah.
all understand
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not assuming that as his, but that's how I'd probably feel.
maybe he'll
Yeah.
tell us if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just 1 year after this crazy ordeal, he and a friend were driving to work, and the car went over the bridge and plunged into the water below.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
This poor man, like, let's get him a horseshoe right now.
Yeah.
Okene opened his eyes, and they were again upside down.
Oh my God.
Like, I would just be like, "What are you trying to tell me, God?" However, wasting no time. Again, this man is like just a machine. He was already out of the car, angled towards the surface, ready to go, when he realized that his friend hadn't moved. So he
Oh,
swam back and saved his friend,
oh
and
my
they
Oh my
made it to the
God.
god.
surface with no injuries.
Who is this
So
man?
now he's a
Once
hero
one
as
step
well.
further, so they swim out of the car. Car's toast, obviously. They're both
Mhm.
fine. And I guess like no one gave a shit because they walked to the nearest police station themselves to report the accident.
And nobody
Like,
did anybody else
what?
see it?
I don't
Or
know. But he was like, yeah, so, we just, and they're soaking wet. They were in a car upside down and they just walked to the police station. By the way, this happened.
Oh
So
my gosh.
go and
I hope
pull
and
that
that
it's
no
car
one
he's
out.
from
saw it and just didn't
yeah.
do nothing.
I would hope not, but it just makes him
Yeah.
sound like, oh, again, like he's just so nonchalant about it.
Right.
Jesus.
Okay, so at this point now, that is over 10 years ago. So what is
Mhm.
Harrison Okene up to?
Mhm.
Sadly, him and his wife would split up in 2015, and he would go through this kind of dark period. He described it as a stage of depression, which, again,
Mhm.
and this is a quote, I was alone. I didn't have children. I didn't have a wife. Didn't have a good job. I was frustrated, just alone with my dog. I was depressed, but nobody knew. PSA, if you're feeling depressed, sad, you are not alone. Please tell someone. Well, it's easier
Mhm.
said than done, but
Mhm.
because I mean, I'm sure he sounds like an amazing person. I'm sure he has lots of friends, but you don't want to burden your friends. I'm guilty of that.
Mhm.
This negative state did not last long for Okene. Again, not surprised, as he's just insane and amazing. He decided to enroll in a diving course to help him get back on track and more or less embrace any fear he had left regarding his experience. Like, who
Wow.
is this guy?
Yeah.
So, if you refer to the photo number 1 that we saw,
Mhm.
he now works as a diver, um, going at a max of 50 meters, installing parts, building or repairing oil and tank gas facilities.
Wow.
And he goes home to his partner and 3 children in his house on the lake. So he's
Wow.
doing
I'm
good.
so happy that this, like you said, you gave us like the heads up that it had a happy ending. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because, like,
But
how else would you know it's going to end up here at all?
yeah,
I do
wow.
have some really great quotes from that one article that is sourced. So if you want to read the whole thing, it'll be linked. So these are from Harrison. Our happiness, our joy, our future, they're all in our own hands. I had to reprogram my thinking, balance my mind. I like
Wow.
that.
I
Yeah.
like that.
And then he says, I know there is a God, and there is a God beside me. I know he has a great purpose for me, and I feel so comfortable and guide myself. I try not to offend anybody. I try to trust life because when humans are close to death, that is when they understand we are all one. And that is the story of Harrison Okene.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
He's just like
Harrison,
this
That's
you're
an incredible story.
amazing.
I love
incredible
like
person.
yeah.
Perseverance and just
How
calm in the
old was he
sense
when this happened? Did it say?
29.
He was only 29 and he was
I know.
Wow.
I could not imagine staying that calm and that collected and that at 29 years old.
Yeah.
I know this phrase is probably overdone,
At
but
any age, really.
he feels very
Yeah.
like wise beyond his years. He feels like he's
Yeah.
on a next level of just like his brain is operating at a different
Even
level.
his little like smile in that photo of like you can tell that he's tired and probably a little bit defeated from everything that he went through, but like in that group photo his like little like I'm still putting on like a little bit of a smile here, like that to me is just
Yeah.
that's perseverance almost right there.
And
That's
he's not
amazing.
like, I feel
smiling
like
for
he
a
found
photo.
his
I'd be
calling,
like,
like
leave me alone. But he's like, try to smile. Oh
Yeah.
my
like
God.
you are good with underwater things and high stress environments. So
He
the
seems
fact
like a
that he does that
natural
now,
for this
yeah.
diving profession.
Like
Mhm.
I can't believe having that happen and then be like I'm going to become a diver. Like
Yeah.
this is what I'm going to do. Like, clearly someone wants me to be in the water. That's what they're like.
Exactly.
Well, and he said in a couple of different articles that he's just like the ocean is his happy place, and he
Okay.
has a house on the lake. But he's like, one day, get enough money, I want that ocean house. I'm like, I want that for you. I want that to
Yeah.
happen for you.
Huh.
I first heard about the story on My Favorite Murder, and I was
Mhm.
just like, I could not believe. Karen always likes to cover like survivor stories because listening to the story, if you didn't know the ending, you would think, how are you even getting this information? Like, obviously he died, like everyone else drowned, which is like
Yeah.
horrendous, but like you would understand because of just a boat upside down, it sinks. Like, how could
Mhm.
anyone survive? And 3 days by himself, I would have
That's
gone
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah. Most of us would have.
So we have to take a page out of his book. And if you're religious or not, you have to find that inner peace because I think that saved his life.
Yeah, definitely.
Listen, even if you're not religious, I don't know, someone like myself, I believe there's things out there that like we don't understand
The
for
universe,
sure.
man.
Yeah, that we
Energy,
don't know.
whatever.
And like he is obviously meant to still be here and there is a reason for it, whatever that reason is. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe he helped give life to the next savior of the world or something. But like that is yeah, that's amazing what he went through
So if you're
and
feeling
survived.
down, just think about Harrison, deep breath, eat a can of sardines, and things will be okay.
I wonder if he likes
Well, thank
sardines
you.
still.
Yeah, I want to know.
Never
Ask.
again.
All right.
But
Well, thank you,
and
Megan.
you're welcome. And I
Mhm.
will update if he does actually speak to me. So far, it's been just like 3 messages, and 2 of them were the words, okay.
Okay.
So
That's fine.
don't
That's
hold
fine.
out
He's been
hope, but
through a lot. Maybe
was
he's over it.
it was
Like
pretty
he's
cool
like,
that he
I'm
actually
good.
did respond. So fingers
Yeah.
crossed. And thank you all for listening. And if you have any like survivor stories, like either personally or ones that you've heard about, I mean, wouldn't mind having some good stories to tell on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yes.
I mean, it was kind of nice. This is a nice break because our last 3 ones weren't like amazingly upbeat. It was like Rebecca, Lake Carachet, and then Tina. So this is a good like, hey,
Yeah.
Megan,
We
you lifted
gotta,
us up for once.
and we
Well,
do
I
try to consider those things. We
I
try
was told
to.
to flip it because what I was
Yeah.
going to do was a real downer.
That's coming later, folks. Get
Yes.
ready.
Oh,
We have more
it's-
downers on
it's
the
coming.
way in the queue. So,
Don't worry.
But
But-
hopefully you guys still enjoyed the story. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, very much.
Thank
Follow
you.
the podcast, rate the podcast, talk to
Be
us
ready
on
for
Instagram.
tangents.
Send it to your friends and enemies and everyone.
Tell
And,
Coca-Cola to sponsor us.
love that Coke Zero. And we'll see you guys same time next week.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a moment to review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leaving us a like or comment really helps. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please visit our coffee page at www.ko-fi.com/coastfiles. Email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.